Guys, welcome back to the crew Waltron. Driving all cars, part number 42. That's what we are looking at here. And we are looking at the Summit Reward car that was to be won or to be bought later on. But you could win it in May and June, if I'm not mistaken. So probably somewhere in July it also became available for other people who didn't win it at the dealers. That is, I think that is if you have the wild run. Although I'm not 100% sure if you don't have the wild run, or if you can also get your hands on cars like this. I doubt it, but it might be possible. This is an sort of a classic sports car, bit of an icon as well. His the one coming after this, the Ferrari F40, well, also pretty exclusive, but not as well, not that of an icon compared to this one. The F50 is also something, well, yeah, people know about it, but the F40 is people something can know how they look it. They can see it, sort of, in their mind, how this car looks. It is a bit wide and it slides all over the place a bit, and I think, well, we'll have a look at the acceleration test first, but it might have a big problem. This car, probably, there are a few others of the classic cars that have 5 gears. And that's also the case with this one. And it's a Ferrari, so top speed probably won't be a problem. Acceleration might be, because of that 5 gear. And I also think, does it have to be, I don't know, some restriction they have with the license agreement with Ferrari? But as far as I know, most cars in this game, in circuit spec, have 7 gears. So I thought that all circuit specs in this game have 7 gears. It's not the case for this one. It has 5 gears in full stock, it has 5 gears in performance, and it has 5 gears in circuit. And that is kinda, well, a problem. Because the 4th and the 5th gear are pretty long, and that shows in acceleration. It is raining here now, that might do something on the time, but nevertheless 24.1. Even if it was dry and we could win 2 or 3 tenths, it would still be on the average side of the performance spec. Of course, also have to take in consideration that in the previous video I have been driving the Ferrari 458, which is pretty OP, especially in circuit, and that has a pretty fast acceleration. So if you're coming from one of the best cars in the game to this, it might feel a bit... Third gear, I'm still getting wheel spin. It is slightly raining, but it's like someone is on the brakes, which is not the case. I wasn't braking, so I don't know. 24.7. Does it have to do with the rain or not? It's by far the slowest time I've tested in circuit spec. Although this car is not that bad, just in handling wise and stuff like that, but no. Acceleration is nothing to do with the rain at the moment, just not that good. And that's probably because it has long gears, which is the other minus for this car. First, second, more than okay. Third sort of starts to get a bit slower. 4th and 5th are pretty long gears, which always is going to kill an acceleration of a car. If you can have a shorter gear ratio and 7 gears, then yeah, it goes just a bit faster in acceleration. Let's throw it around our little track here. It's not that slow response either. It's probably because of the weight. Not that it weighs so much compared to some of the bigger Americans or something, but it's still heavier than something like 458 or the newer cars. Handling wise, more than okay. Pretty easy to steer it around the corners and stuff like that, so handling pretty good. Of course it is slightly raining and the track is kind of wet, so bit of understeer, which usually is the case if you are dealing with a bit of weight, but third gear, when we go to fourth, a bit of uphill here, but even now we are sort of flat and the acceleration keeps the same. So to get it really going, we're probably going to need quite some nitro, especially coming out of corners, depending on the RPM we are doing. And especially high RPM, it keeps revving there and sort of 2-3 seconds before it actually changes gears. Doing towards 400 kilometers an hour in the performance spec, so top speed more than okay, amongst the better ones in performance. So top speed handling okay, it's just acceleration due to the long gears. That is a bit of a problem. And if you put that all in a combination, you come to an average car, but there are so many average cars that meanwhile we are sort of breaking it up a bit. Then this is more above average than below average. But average it is if you compare it to some of the better performance specs in this case. Top speed okay, handling okay. So those are the pluses for this car, and acceleration and long gears in general. It's not only the acceleration, some of the gears it just take too long before it changes the gears. 6,800, 7,200 RPM, it kinda high revs, but it keeps there for a bit too long before it changes to the next gear. Switching to the Ferrari F40 LM, it says, I'm assuming that stands for Le Mans series, or Le Mans back then. Lately it's called LMS, the Le Mans series. At least that's what I think. I might be wrong, but first gear kind of okay, second gear okay. Then we go to third gear, a bit slower. We are in the circuit spec, so it's going to get a bit better acceleration. But also here a long fourth gear, and not sure what happened there. It's one of those cars that surprises you on pretty flat situations, probably. Also this one pretty easy to throw it into the corners though, so handling not immediately a problem, it seems. Bit of understeer though, if you go a bit too fast in the corners. Eventually decided to use the nitro there. To change the gears because it was staying for a bit too long. Here we are going towards 400 kilometers an hour and then I crashed. So if I wouldn't crash, it probably would do 410, 415, something like that, which is decent in circuit spec. Some do 420 or more. It's a high revving car, but the long gears are, in my opinion, killing it. I don't know, is it something to do with the license agreement or is it some sort of bug, but normally circuit spec in this game have 7 gears, this one only has 5. And that is a bit of a problem. It kills the acceleration and long gears in general. Be also a bit too long, high revving, so that it doesn't change the gear immediately. It keeps at 7000 plus RPM for 2-3 seconds before it actually changes the gear, unless you tap the nitro. Top speed and handling are more than okay, but it's just, yeah, it's above average, but average is not good enough if you're dealing with events, time attacks and things where scores and numbers matters. Scores, times, and then this one is not really an option compared to the better performance and circuit specs. But yeah, it is what it is. Pretty decent, not good enough. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.